Okay, preseason game number 1 coming right up. And preseason games are kind of weird because you get all excited, football's back, but then it's like, it's just like the second teamers, and it's like, okay, and you kind of lose its luster just like midway through the first quarter. But not this year because we have somebody to really look forward to, and that's Jameson Williams. All indications that he's going to play and play a lot. So here's what Dan Campbell had to say. We're going to dose him in with a douse him. We're going to douse. What the heck word is that? We're going to douse him with a ton of game reps. Douse. He needs that. He needs that, as does practice, man. But I'm telling you, as with anybody, the more reps he gets, the more time on task, the more consecutive practices, reps he can put together, he'll just grow. So in a weird way, because of the suspension, you're just going to pepper him with game reps. So that means preseason action, which is going to be really fun to see. We have not seen him since we drafted him very much. We did see him at the end of last year a little bit, but just not a ton. So it'd be great to just see him on the field. See, is he that fast in an NFL game? I mean, I think so. Like really, what will he do? But I think it's going to be a lot of fun to really watch Jameson Williams fly around. And so I got some more guys to look forward to at preseason game number 1. But just one more thing on Jameson Williams. This guy has an opportunity to really get us excited. Unfortunately, is the word. Not unfortunately, just because it's like we know we're not going to see him till week 7. So it's kind of like, shoot, man, because I think he's really going to stand out. Can't wait to see him. So, man, Jameson Williams gives you an opportunity, give you something to look forward to in tonight's first preseason game, because like I said, usually it's just starters are out, so it's okay, it's football, but it's just obviously it's not the same. It's an exhibition game, we all know it. Another one, Dylan Drummond. We've done a lot of videos on him, or a couple videos on him. This is a guy that comes into a wide receiver room that in some ways is plenty deep, but at the same time there's opportunity there. So remember, he's got Trinity Benson, Tom Kennedy are lost to injuries. Oh, and Denzel Mims. That's right, Denzel Mims went out. So it's now all of a sudden wide open for him. And he is a guy that coaches keep talking about, and they almost don't want to, because they're like, Dylan Drummond just gets open. He makes plays. He makes catches. Can't ignore him. Eastern Michigan. And the thing about the Eastern Michigan thing is like, he is not that productive, not that athletic, but it's Eastern Michigan. So you just don't know. You just don't know what you're getting. So he gets an opportunity with the Detroit Lions because Eastern Michigan right by there. So he had a tryout. Just kind of, yeah, all right, bring him in. He keeps kind of lasting. And so Dylan Drummond, keep an eye on him tonight in preseason as well. And here's what Goff said. He's a good player, man. He does everything right, continually shows up. I know he's good on special teams from what I've heard, but yeah, for me, he's a guy that continually is exactly where he's supposed to be on time. He's fast, he's sudden, he's smart, and he's got good hands. All right. Thank you. Like, let's go. Colby Swordsall is a guy that we drafted that's going to get a lot of reps, because the big 6, I like that, which is basically all our guys, our starters, plus Glasgow or Vaitai, whoever wins that right guard spot. But then Swordsall is a guy that we're going to see a lot of. 5th-round pick out of William and Mary. Is in good shape to make the team, but has a lot to prove before he can get in there. So keep an eye on him. He's like a legit, we need him. We have our big 6 as it says right there, but we also need like one more, like you need 7 guys really. You want your like swing tackles. You want one more guy to really emerge. That's like, yeah, we can really count on them. Jack Campbell's another guy. I can't wait to see what he does in this preseason game. I don't know how much work he's going to get. And that really tells you how, if they're getting a lot of work, like if Derek Barnes is out there for the whole game, then it's like, then he's not doing well. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's like Derek Barnes is great and he's going to be a really good player, then you wouldn't play that much. So if the more reps you get, the more they're like kind of looking at you. So we'll see how much Jack Campbell plays. I'm excited to see that. Broderick Martin is another one, needs the reps, a big, huge guy that just learning the game, learning his body, the whole thing. I mean, this another guy we drafted this year. Can't wait to see him as well. So Broderick Martin, Jack Campbell. Let me know in the comments who you're excited to watch tonight. I think Jack Campbell, I just want to see how quick and fast he is. Again, he's a guy that was drafted, big, burly, linebacker, can't move. It's not true. He's fast, he's athletic, he's smart, so I can't wait to see him. Another guy that keeps popping out at camp is Starling Thomas, who, much like the receiver, just can't really stop talking about him, and he keeps finding his way onto the field, and you're like, okay, so kind of love it. So reminds of Jerry Jacobs, another undrafted corner who came out of nowhere to win the roster 2 summers ago. Now Jacobs is rapping with the ones. Thomas won't crack the starting lineup this season, barring injury anyway. But it looks like he's kind of player Detroit loves to populate at the bottom of the roster. Absolutely. We've much improved in the secondary. So Starling Thomas isn't like we're looking for a starting corner, which is crazy because just a couple of years ago we were like, who is going to play corner? We got a Puda injured. We had like now we're just really good there. So Starling Thomas is the guy that we'll look for. Iffy Melanfonwu. That says it right there. Remember him? He was supposed to be just like a 3rd round pick, solid, big, strong, and hasn't really played. Just has not played. He's played in 17 games in 2 seasons, but even then he's like not really played. And now all of a sudden the secondary's gotten really crowded. So I'm not sure what he'll do or what his role will be. But can't wait to see him. I mean, when he is in there, he looked big, strong. I mean, he had one play against Devontae Adams, like his rookie year, where he like locked him up. So he's got potential. It just hasn't really played. He's been injured. James Houston, in one of the surprises of camp, Houston, who just set NFL record for most sacks in the first 7 games, has been repping with the deep reserves on the 3rd team. Good news, bad news on that, okay? I'll get to both. It speaks to the depth, Aiden, Charles Harris, blah, blah, but it also is like, man, speaks to lack of development as well. Houston. All right. And it's somewhat, he's a hard player to judge because in some ways you don't want to jump to conclusions with this guy. I mean, he shot out of nowhere. He couldn't get on the field until Thanksgiving. And then he's like unstoppable. He's like great. So it's like, are you good? Are you not good? I mean, you could see the physical traits, but you could also see why he didn't get on the field until Thanksgiving. He didn't have counter moves. He gets pushed around the run game. So interesting. Can't wait to watch him as well. Romeo Okwara, love it. Okay, enough of that. Excited for tonight. There's a lot of good players to watch, and the more I go through that list, the more I'm like, I'm actually pretty excited about the preseason. And so I can't wait to see Jameson Williams, number 1, of course. But then there's a lot of bottom of the roster, middle of the roster guys that were our mainstay players that we needed, like Romeo, Julian Okwara. Just a couple years ago, they were our starters, needed them. Now it's like they're fighting for a roster spot. And that's the complete difference in the Lions roster regime, the whole thing, the depth, the talent, everything is so much better in just a couple of years. It's almost hard to really fathom. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can't wait for tonight. We'll see all of you on the next one.